guys, welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time here, my name is Coco. On my channel I share beauty, self-care, fashion, and pieces of my life through vlogs. So if that's something that you're interested in, please stick around. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. So today's video is actually highly requested from my Instagram family. If you're not following me on Instagram, my name is KOKO_GUERRA, Koko_Guerra on Instagram. So my Instagram family is into this whole clean beauty aesthetic. I'm not mad at it. You know, I think there's a time and a place for every different kind of makeup look, and this is one of the looks that you're gonna look good at any time. Girl. So yeah, clean beauty is just making its rounds, and it has the girls in a chokehold, especially over there on TikTok. So I wanted to come and show you guys how I do clean beauty and what I think looks good. You can use this and then add some, you know, different techniques to it, or mine is something, I contoured my nose because it was something that I wanted to do, just for how I like my makeup to look. But a lot of times people feel like when you're wearing clean beauty looks, you're not supposed to contour your nose, you're not supposed to contour your face, you're not supposed to do anything, you're just supposed to pop up pretty. And we are gorgeous in our own way, but if you want this look to look flawless, certain things you got to do that enhance your face. And so I did what needed to be done on my face. Okay, so first things first, you already know you got to moisturize. I don't make the rules, I just abide by them. I'm using the Advanced Nail 92 all-in-one cream. It looks like this. And I already have the essence on, so I'm just going to moisturize the rest of my face. I moisturized, and now I'm just going to use a little tiny bit of primer, not too much, but this is the Milk Hydro Grip Primer. I'm just going to use this to have the makeup really adhere. So primer is optional, you don't have to do it, but I'm really just trying to get it around my mouth area. That's my dry area, and this is a very hydrating primer, sorry. So like I said, it is optional that you skip this, but I just like that tacky feeling on my face before I do my makeup so that I know when it pop, it's gonna pop. Okay, so my new Holy Grail foundation is the Makeup Forever Matte Velvet Skin Foundation. I just can't get enough. See, I like the moisture that the primer adds around the mouth. I just look nice and hydrated, and that's how you want to look before you do your makeup. And even if you have oily skin, because you know people feel like, oh, they have oily skin, you don't want to put too much, you definitely want to add moisture to your skin so that your sebaceous glands do not overreact and try to, you know, produce more oil than you already need. Sometimes when you go in with too many mattifying products, it's just going to make you oilier faster. Okay, so with this look, you really want to make sure that your base, your foundation, is really flawless. That's a big part of this look. Clean girl aesthetic, I'm doing quotations because like every week we have a different name for something, but this is just really clean beauty, and that's the name that it's been called for so many years. Yeah, so for this look, your skin just really needs to be the moment. And nothing else needs to happen, but your skin really needs to be the moment. Your brows and your lashes need to be the moment, and also whatever you decide to do with your lip is what is going to keep it in the moment. So I am just stippling my foundation all over, and I'm making sure that I'm getting every spot, and I'm working in small sections, as you can see. So I'm right here, and then I'll move. I find that when you move too fast all over your face, you get blotchy areas, and you don't want that. So just take your time and work in small areas. So I'm making sure to go over my lips. I want to make sure that everything is nice, flawless, and seamless. I'm just using that stippling action. Stippling is the art of depositing and blending at the same time. So depositing products and blending it out. Kind of what a sponge would do. Okay, so I'm going to use two concealers. One that's a little bit hydrating and closer to my complexion, and one that is kind of matte. You guys know Shape Tape, and it's a little bit lighter. So we're going to go in with the one that's hydrating first, and it's just a, you know, about 2 shades lighter than my complexion. And now I'm just going in and blending that out. And now I'm going to add the Shape Tape, which is just going to add that extra pop of color because it's just a little bit brighter, but it's really going to snatch up that under eye. Okay, so I'm all blended out. I'm not going to set my face or anything yet. I'm going in with this color stick. This is from Thread Beauty. The name of the color is called Truth. I like that name for this brown. And so I'm just adding the brown to my eyelids. So just because we're not doing the eyeshadow doesn't mean we can't add color, some type of color or dimension or shape to the eyes. And so that's what this brown is going to do. I'm just using it to add warmth to my lids so that the eyes can look a little bit more deep set and look like there's a lot more happening on the eyes versus just being blank and corny and boring. So once I lay that there, I'm just going to continue blending out the rest of my concealer, which you can tell is pretty much already blended. And then I'm going to go in and set the rest of my concealer. If you just leave foundation and concealer over top of your lids, it just doesn't give the clean girl aesthetic the way that you think it gives. It gives like I put foundation all over my lids, you know what I mean? So this gives, ooh, her eyes are beautiful. And that's just what we want to give. We don't want to say, oh, her eye makeup is beautiful, because you know we're not giving the impression that we even have on eyeshadow. But this is like a secret little something to those eyes. You can't just leave them with foundation and concealer and powder over top of them. That's gonna look crazy. If you haven't heard it before, you heard it here first. So fun fact about this aesthetic, you don't want to use shades that are way too light because it then starts to look like you're super painted. You want to be beat, but you don't want it to be like very noticeable. So I'm using a translucent powder that is about 1 to 2 shades lighter. Pretty much the same shade as the concealer. Now, normally I would go up in the color of my translucent powders because I just feel like, you know, it makes the under eye pop, but it's going to pop when we're done with the look because we can bake with the lighter powder. But when I set, if I'm making sense, when I set, I'm using just a powder that is closer to my color, and I'm going to set the forehead. A lot of times when people say they, you know, love this makeup look, they think you don't use a lot of powders. And are you crazy? The only way to lock in a beautiful makeup look for the rest of the day is by using powders. Again, my famous saying is anything wet must be set. So if you're putting on a foundation or cream, no matter the foundation type, you need to go ahead and lock that in. Now you can use sprays and powders and stuff like that to break it down, which is what we're going to do, but you absolutely need to set your makeup. Like, don't ever think you could just put foundation on. That is a rule. Like, I know I say there really aren't any rules, but that's a big rule. And so I'm going to go in and set the rest of my face with the lip bar, set this home powder off camera. Here it is, but I just feel like I don't want to put y'all through it. You've seen me set my face a million times. If you're new here, that's it. So I set the rest of my face, and now I'm going to go in with the Milk Hydro Grip Set. This is a refreshing spray, and that's how we're going to add that soft, dewy vibe back to our skin. Make it look a lot more like skin and not just like super matte, super powdery. So then you want to fan that down, but slowly. You don't want it to dry super matte. You just want it to dry down, take its time, get into the skin, break down the powders, and just look really natural. Okay, now I'm going in and doing my brows. I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Auburn pencil. The name of these pencils is called the Perfect Brow Pencil, by the way. And this is just a really soft brown. You know, sometimes I go in with dark brown. That's a lot. This is a nice soft brown, and I like to really just color my hairs first, and then we can go in with a darker brown and just, you know, shape the brow. But for now, I like to go into my brows with Auburn. I know this looks crazy what I'm doing, but I'm actually kind of like coloring the hairs. So that's why I'm rubbing the pencil all throughout my brow. And it's not really creating a brow for me because this pencil is kind of light, but it is, like I said, coloring the hairs of my brows, and that's all I can ask for. This is a very like fat pencil, so we're going to use the Lip Bars Micro Brow Pencil in the color medium brown. I'm almost out, and then I'm just gonna start like in the middle right here and just draw the shape of brow that I want. When you're wearing such a natural look, the brows is really a big focus, so you want to make sure you slay your brows, so take your time with your brows. Okay, now I'm going to clean up my brows with Shape Tape because every time Shape Tape understands the assignment when it comes to cleaning up a brow. It's just, the formula is great. Shape Tape snatches brows. Okay, so now I'm waiting for my under eye concealer to dry down, but I'm just gonna go in and start bronzing my face using the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Bronzer in number 4 Deep. When you're bronzing, you don't want to go too deep with a color, and you definitely want to do something that's warm. But if you want to contour, you can do something that's cool, you know. You want to make sure you have a little bit of gray in there. So I'm just bronzing because I am going to use blush as well. I don't want the transition to look too crazy, so I don't want to go from like gray bronzer, grayish bronzer, you know what I mean, the undertone, to a red blush. That's just going to look insane. But this added a little bit of warmth to my skin, and because of this grip set spray, it doesn't look super matte, okay? And we are going to spray again because we want to get that nice, you know, that look y'all love. Okay, so I'm going in with my Morphe and E49 brush and my Makeup Revolution Roxy blush palette, and I'm just pressing the blush onto the top of my cheekbones, right at the top, but really at the sides of my face. And this brush is just going to help me blend it all out. I love this brush because at first it applies it like dramatic, but then it will definitely help you blend it all out because it's really dense. Sometimes people are like, well, I don't know what to do with that brush. Yeah, that's what you do. So I'm just applying it right here, and then I'm bringing it to the apples of my cheeks. This is going to shape my face out really nicely, make it look like I have high cheekbones that I embrace, because you know people have high cheekbones and do not embrace them. So I just want to let mine stand out, you know. Doing your nose contour is also optional, but I think it looks pretty, and so I applied it with this Il Makiage brush, and then as you can see, I'm using the Bdellium Tools 788 brush just to press it in there, because when you work with powders over liquids, sometimes it gets a little muddy, so you want to make sure that you are pressing it in and doing what you need to do. Now I'm taking the same bronzer and I'm just taking it up into the lid and marrying it in with the beginning of my brows. Just want everything to look symmetrical, blend it all in, make it look good. But tip, once you start blending your bronzer in with your brow, don't bring it down the sides of your nose. You can only take it over your eyelids a little bit, but don't bring it down the sides of your nose. It's going to be too deep because the color that we used on the brows was just like a little bit too much for a nose contour, so be careful with that. Now I'm going to go in and add my the lighter translucent powder, just because I bake. I don't know about you, but I like, you know, that under eye to be snatched, and I want it to be very clear that the under eye is snatched. I don't even want you to mistake this under eye situation. I want you to be like, man, it's snatched. And then I'm just gonna go down the sides of my nose to make sure that she's also snatched. Okay, so while I'm baking, I take that moment to do my eyeliner. And the eyeliner that I'm using is the Inglot number 77. It's a gel liner right here. And it's just beautiful. It's so black and just, it's perfect. And so I'm just starting with the outer corner first. And the brush that I'm using is the Morphe M165. And I don't want too much eyeliner. Like, I don't want it to be too visible. But just enough for the lash band to like not be showing. Okay, so these are the lashes that I'm going to go in and apply, and they're by the brand Miss 3D Mink Lash Effect. So they're not real mink, and I love that because I don't have time. They're very cheap, probably like $5 or something like that, but I like the style, and the style is the 3D Lash MB04. So I'm going to go ahead and apply these off camera just to save us some time, and I'll be right back. Okay, so with this look, you really want to have lashes on that look fluffy but are not fluffy. So as you can see from the pack that I just showed you, these are really, really thin. The band is really thin. You want to go with something with a thin band, because if you start going with thick bands, then like you're gonna look a little crazy because it's gonna weigh down the eye. I mean, some people handle the thick bands like a pro, and I'm not one of them people at all. Okay, so I'm just blending in my bake and getting that off my face while I'm really pressing it in so that it can make my makeup last a very long time. And then I'm going to use another brush for the sides of my nose just to make sure that it's really getting in there. So I've switched to a much smaller brush just to make that translucent powder and my nose contour meet well together. Make sure that it looks nice and natural. So some people like to stop here, and that's fine, but I like to add a little bit more fine details that make you look a little bit more doll-like. So I'm adding a little tiny bit of gold eyeshadow to the button of my nose and down the bridge of my nose just to further accentuate that nose contour. Nice. And then I'm going to add that same shade right into the inner corner of my eyes to really brighten that up. Then I'm going to add that same brown on a concealer brush right below my brow to give it that pop. And then I'm just taking a brush and blending that out because you don't want it to be too harsh. You don't really want to see what's going on with this kind of look. So then I'm just going to add a little bit of the gold right over my brow so that it can appear that I have that really pretty dewy skin. And then I'm just going to spray one more time. This is going to help the nose contour, everything come together, blend together. This tastes nasty. Just went in my mouth. Okay, the lip liner that I'm going to use is called Strong, and this is by Rare Beauty. Then I'm just going to take one of these and blend out the lip liner. Okay, so for this look, gloss is really the moment. So I'm taking some of the Rare Beauty lipstick in the color Wise, which is a really pretty nude for dark skin girls. I'm just taking it on a brush, and the fine bristles are going to go between the lines of my lips. So I'm not really applying too much of the color, just a little bit to add some color so that gloss can really pop, so that it can look like I'm just wearing gloss on natural, beautiful lips. Okay, the gloss that I'm wearing is by the Lip Bar, and I'm just applying it on the lighter part first, and then I'll go to the lip line. I mean, this really doesn't matter. This is just something that I do. I just don't like to bring the brown in. And fun fact, right after I do the brown on the lip line, I clean the brush off because I don't want it to go into the tube. And obviously this is my personal tube. So I went over the brown and then I just spray with some alcohol. Right here, girl. And so that it looks good as new. This part is not a part of the video, but I wanted to just share that with y'all in case, you know, you don't know. And you want to leave this out for about, because it has the alcohol on it, you want to leave it off for about a minute so that it can dry, and then you put it back in the gloss tube. Okay, so this is the final look. I love it. It's one of my go-to makeup looks. You can actually probably find a tutorial on this channel already about this look, but I just wanted it to be beautiful and updated. Thank you for watching, and I'm gonna see you in the next video. Bye.